Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the EKU Game Day Show. We are live today right outside of CG Bank Field and Roy Kidd Stadium. Michael Watkins and Howard Miller with special guests coming on all throughout the broadcast as we get you set for the Colonels as they take on Nicholls State, trying to get back in the win column after a 1-3 start to the campaign and losing their first conference game last week to West Georgia. Howard, before we get to the guest today, rough week last week for the Colonels on the road. Obviously didn't execute the way that Coach Wells wanted them to, but good news is we'll get another opportunity today. We're back at home to take on a Nicholls team that's also 1-3, but that one win over a top 5 ranked team.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way, Mike. Well, first of all, it's great to have former teammate John Revere here, one of the best that's ever put on a EKU jersey and suit up. You know, when you go to Alabama, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, some of these states that's known for football, you've got the top level schools, and then you've got some of these second tier level schools that still have some outstanding athletes. There is some great football played in Georgia, and some of those players at Western Georgia, maybe because of this and that, just like when we played. Remember James Cruder, Wally Chambers, Mike Nicholson? Sometimes it's just maybe a percentage point or so in your GPA that makes you go down a level, but those guys have got some outstanding athletes.
They do.
Outstanding athletes.
Yeah.
And you can't, and I'm not saying that our team did, you can't take nothing for granted.
No.
You've got to bring your A game
every play
against everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we can rebound today.
Well, one thing about this, and Johnny, I think you can talk about this too. Last year we got off to a slow start. I think we were 2-3 at one point. Yeah. Obviously, when you start with those two big FBS schools, it's always hard to go on the road to those places and get a win. So we'll go get our check, and we'll come back home and regroup.
Yeah.
But now these games are when you've got to start winning. You've got to start building now. A 1-3 start, and you guys have been around for a while. You've seen it. I've been doing this show for about 10 years now. I've seen it. EKU fans are some of the most fickle around. Now, we've got those diehards, but it's those ones that are on the fence of, well, Eastern's playing at home today. Do I want to go to that, or do I want to go to the bowling alley, or do I want to go to the movie theater? You got to win to sway those people to come out and support you, and I think we've seen that throughout the years. You bring in a team like Nicholls State that's 1-3, it doesn't really have the buzz that some of these bigger games that are down the stretch will have, but it's very important to come back home and get a victory. Looking for 9 straight home wins today, John.
Well, you mentioned something, Howard, about the athletes that we once upon a time was able to grasp and influence to come our way. And we're still getting those guys. It's just that now the format of college football is such that I heard that at one of Coach Wells' luncheons that he mentioned we were somewhat young.
Yeah.
In the past, heck, you were excited about that. Because you got some guys coming back that are going to add to some camaraderie and some longevity. But the format of football now, heck, those guys may be gone after a year.
The whole landscape has changed.
Exactly. You may be young forever.
And to that point, too, the athletes are different now. I mean, with the training and the nutrition and things that with technology we've learned more about.
And the money.
And, that's true, too. Money. That's the big thing.
Money.
And, to that point, so when Coach Wells does he does a weekly press conference every Tuesday. And I asked him a question. I was like, Coach, we're in a day and time in college football where it is so hard to build a team because you never know year after year who's coming back, who's leaving. So especially at the quarterback position, it's so hard to build that position up because if you got a guy that's got a great year, he's probably going to leave after a season. And, and that's very hard. Now, but there are instances where you might be able to bring a guy in. Like this year, we brought 2 or 3 guys in. It hasn't quite clicked with Burkett yet. Now, today, back at home, I have heard little rumblings that he got injured in practice this week, injured an ankle, injured a toe, something to the effect that he might not even be able to play today. So Jordan Potts, who came in a couple of weeks ago, might actually get the start today. I think it's a game-time decision on whether Burkett will actually be in there or not. But to that point, it's I think, we're seeing it with Alabama, with, other than Ohio State and Georgia, those bigger schools that consistently recruit and can pay the upper echelon year after year after year. Yeah. It's so hard to build programs and be consistent unless you've got all that money backing them to pay these upper echelon players.
No doubt.
I remember back in the day when our coaches would go recruiting.
Yeah.
Coach Kidd, Coach Marmee, Coach Francis, Coach Ison, Coach Harville, when those guys went in wearing that EKU emblem, guys were in awe. Yeah. They were in awe because of our tradition, because of what we had done, what we had achieved. But like that was then and now is now. And what some of these guys don't realize is that when our team goes on the road, those players might not, but there are administrators and educators at those institutions that remember back in the day. And they have to understand they've got a target on their back.
Yeah.
They've got a target on their back, and people are coming at us like they've never came before.
Well, and EKU will always, because of what you all did with Coach Kidd, they'll always be the hunted. They just always will because of that history and that tradition. No matter who we beat or who we've got or what the schedule is, will be a big game for most teams, because of just that tradition. And I think that's good for us, too, but we got to go in with that mentality each and every single game of we're going to get the best game from everybody just because of the tradition that was built here.
And that has to be incorporated with their game prep. They have to understand that you're not just here or there. You're at Eastern Kentucky University. You're at EKU. And like you say, this could be this team that we're playing today. This could mean their season.
It could be their Super Bowl. I mean, it really could. Coming on the road to beat us,
they prepared for. And so they've got to understand the weight of, every single game they play in.
Talk about the importance of being at home, too, because, we've won. We're looking for 9 straight home wins, and you know how important it is to win at this place. It's different than what it used to be, but it's still going to be a packed house today. The weather is absolutely perfect for football. We're finally starting to move toward that football weather. But being here and trying to and the goal is go undefeated at Roy Kidd Stadium. We did that last season. Now we get an opportunity here at home again to get back in the win column and a chance to get right and fix some things that we couldn't do last week.
Yeah, it's and you hope that these guys understand that, and that coaches are impressing that upon them mentally, is that, hey, you're at Eastern Kentucky University. Years ago, we were fortunate enough to be able to go after and get those, as you said, top-tier athletes for years and years that was just below the highest level of college football, because there wasn't the Georgia Southerns, and there wasn't, all of a sudden, I'm looking at West Georgia. I spent 20 years in Georgia. I remember that when they were in AI. Now, all of a sudden, here they come. And what has happened is that those guys now don't have to come all the way to EKU to play Division I ball now.
Johnny, in the last 15 years, how many different Florida schools are there now playing football that wasn't even in existence back in the day?
Yeah, that's what
And it makes all the difference. Because,
a lot
of kids that want to participate in college athletics, period, they would like to stay within a realm to where their family can come and watch them play. So that's a great recruiting tool to keep those guys in Florida.
Well, and in basketball, you can recruit those areas a little bit more because you can say, well, we're going to play this Florida team twice, and we're going to play, this team in Georgia twice. But in football, you only get to play them once. And if it's a game that's here, it's much more difficult to get them to come. It's an 8-hour, 9-hour drive to get from Georgia to Richmond, Kentucky. So much more difficult trying to get those parents here for every single game. But if you're a 2-hour drive or even a 45-minute drive, it's a lot easier to kind of get that player to come and see your fans come watch you play.
No doubt. It's and I arguably would tell people or discuss with individuals about what Kentucky has here in the state, which is, bar none. We've got the best athletes in the country.
Yeah.
We've got some of the best athletes in the country year in and year out that comes out of the state of Kentucky. I just don't know if we got enough of them.
Yeah,
That's all
to
it
give
is.
all the schools some.
To
you're
divide
right.
them up. You got the SEC right up the road here from you. That's arguably the best conference in the world.
And above our head up in Ohio, you got Ohio State and all of them.
And we saw what Louisville's got. I mean, they were getting thumped today by I think Pittsburgh, but now we know how good Louisville is in the ACC.
Yeah.
Not as good as the SEC, obviously, but you've still got and there's a lot of top 10, 20 picks, a lot of first-round draft picks that come out of the ACC as well. So it's a different time in college football. We do have to take a quick commercial break, but before we go, John, when you look at this game today, talk about the importance of not falling to 1-4. Getting that second win, because 2-3 sounds a lot better than 1-4, especially as we head down the stretch and we get more conference games coming down the pipe.
No doubt about it. You don't want to get into a mindset of,
Yeah.
you know.
You don't want must-win games every game down the stretch.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're at home. Hopefully they're coming in here excited and enthusiasm is still, on top of the spectrum for them, and they're looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
And so, they'll get here and with the home crowd, be able to go ahead and go forth and put forth the effort that is a winning effort that will get them a win and keep their their enthusiasm from going south.
Yeah, that's exactly. You want to keep that confidence up too, because falling to 1-4 can be a confidence killer, especially with all these tough conference games. And we've got 3 more ranked conference opponents down the stretch, so we got a chance to get back in the win column today. Very, very important that we come out and do so.
Don't want to get desperate.
Yeah, exactly. Because then that's whenever you start making more mistakes, you start taking more risk, and the fans, you fall to 1-4. Again, we talked about it. They can be even more finicky to get them into the stadium.
You will not be able to get butts in the seats.
Exactly. We'll step aside for our first commercial break. A lot more to get to, folks. Colonels kick off at 6 p.m., so still plenty of time. If you're out and about today and you're saying, you know what, I want to go. What, you got nothing else to do tonight? The weather, again, there's a little bit of cloud coverage right now, so it should be a perfect evening for some college football. Come out here right now, get you some tickets over at the ticket booth, or go online, EKUsports.com. You can also get them on there as well.
We're going to talk about this guy going into the EKU Hall of Fame.
There we go. Yeah, so stick around here with us, John.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, lots more to get to. We'll be right back on the EKU Game Day Show.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Whitaker Bank in Madison County is your local bank for convenience. With more branches than literally any other bank in Madison County, why go anywhere else? Whitaker Bank is known for their friendly customer service and easy access drive-thrus. Whitaker Bank, your home for local, friendly, family banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, two things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
Back here at CG Bank Field and Roy Kidd Stadium, we're live on WBON-TV. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller. It's the EKU Game Day Show. We're talking to EKU legend John Revere. And John, Howard, we were talking to him during the commercial breaks. Big announcement coming up for him this year and a big accomplishment, honoring what he was able to do during his time in the maroon and white.
Well, you know, when I think about it, as being a kid that grew up in Richmond, Mike, John, I remember Eastern Kentucky State College. Coach Marmee that coached us, he was a player then. And to watch the progression of the program, the team through all of those years, and then to be a part of what I felt was one of Coach Kidd's biggest recruiting groups. Now, the group that Coach Kidd brought in, Wally Chambers, Mike Nicholson, James Cruder, Jackie Miller, and all of those, that was a big recruiting class. Dream team. But then, myself excluded, when we came in, our group had a lot of good. I thought that our group was the second biggest blockbuster class that Coach Kidd brought in. And during that period, yourself, Roosevelt Kelly, Pulu, Junior. We had
some legends, right?
We had some outstanding players in our group that played. And I'd like to think that we took the torch that those guys established, we took the torch and moved it forward.
Yeah, carried it even further.
And I remember weightlifting drills. John and Robin Hatley used to always work together. They did.
Robin was a lineman.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
he was. But as far as putting it on there and lifting it up, them two guys, man, they set the standard. You know you did. You guys set the standard because they was both committed to hard work and commitment. And I remember going over there, I'd have about 30 or 40 pounds on there, and them guys had 90 or 100, you know.
I was going to crack a joke. Maybe he was just lifting the bar up, but it sounded like he couldn't even get that up.
Hey, I couldn't, man. And you know what? I wasn't even worried about it.
Yeah.
But I say that to say this, that this guy here, not just for what he did on the field, this guy right here has been a tremendous ambassador for what Roy Kidd, the university, President Martin, Roy Kidd, and the administration wanted us to be, as far as complete ambassadors, not just on the field, because you can destroy everything you did on the field if after the game you go into town and act a fool.
Yeah.
And this guy was a great ambassador, and he will well represent what the Hall of Fame stands for. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, John, talk about what it means for you to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, you're still a big supporter. You come out, you watch these games even now. But just to have your legacy be remembered in a way that will never be forgotten.
Well, first of all, I certainly thank my Lord and Savior for this opportunity that was brought my way. My wife gets on me because I kept making fun of it, like, you know, Larry Kurtzy, and some of the Wally Chambers, those guys in that class there, Mike Nicholson, Jackie Miller, Joe Washington, Marshall Bush. I'm in touch with those guys, and they were seniors when I came in as freshmen.
That
we
blockbuster class.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to travel with those guys, but those are the guys we kind of befriended, and was, when they left, we continued that friendship. But it's a tremendous honor, and I don't want to make light of it. you've got 1,000 different athletes coming and going, and it's not easy to be inducted into that.
For sure.
People think that it's Eastern Kentucky University. Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of prestige and pride that goes along with being a part of this university, and I do want to say that I'm certainly honored. Hopefully, I'll well represent our university now and beyond. But I'm looking forward to the luncheon, and just want to be able to thank everybody for the opportunity. And I make sure that this be known, because my wife was, why do you always joke about that? And I said, babe, they don't owe me anything.
Yeah.
I said, they gave me everything that I could have asked for. They brought me here, put me on scholarship. I earned my degree from here. And then they brought me back to work for them again.
Well, they rewarded your commitment, John.
Yeah.
Let's just call an ace a spade a spade.
Well, I think a lot of other folks had that same commitment
Yeah,
too.
they did. They did.
I just, again, thank the Lord for being fortunate enough to be chosen.
Well, let me say this right quick, piggybacking on what John said. At that time, we had some of the best receivers you could have asked for. Remember Frank Brom was a receiver, Frank Brom from Louisville, when we came here. And three of the guys that was, Lord have mercy, Larry Kersey. All right, I remember in our class, thinking how we had John Revere, Elmo Boyd, and a guy named Inman Sherman.
Yep.
This guy had the work ethic. Elmo had the speed, and a guy named Inman Sherman had the best hands I think I have seen. Inman, if you threw the ball in his area, he would catch it.
Yeah.
And they played off of each other.
Yeah.
And that's what understanding your role is all about. If I'm not this guy, I'm going to be this guy all I can be.
Yeah.
And then you come in, and collectively, we're going to be winners.
Got a great group, too.
Got a great group.
And I'll stand here and say that is what is so important, is that all those guys that was involved with my situation from the time 72 through 75 season, all of those guys is a part of this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to have somebody to throw it to you. You got to have somebody to block for that guy. You got to have somebody blocking downfield to create lanes for you. I mean,
if you don't have a Robin Hatley and some of those guys giving Jeff and Ernie and the guys that's throwing it, trying to find you, if those guys are not blocking and giving that quarterback time, they can't find you.
That's true.
They can't find you. It's a team effort.
Well, congratulations on the honor, sir. And I think the Hall of Fame games sometime in October on all the things that will take place there. So looking forward to covering that. And hopefully we'll have you back on when we do the show for the Hall of Fame game.
Well, I appreciate it. And let's get a win.
There we go. We need one. We got more guests coming on. We'll step aside and come right back, folks. Do not go anywhere. We're live outside of CG Bank Field and Roy Kidd Stadium on the EKU Game Day Show.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi. Local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or a gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
We're back on the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller. And I'll tell you what, man, Howard is so good at getting the guests to come on. And it's Insiders. Coach, well, you got another good one here to talk to us about the strength and conditioning culture of the EKU.
I've got to buy his lunch for the next 3-4 days.
I was wondering why you keep sending me invoices for it.
Lunch and one dinner. And a dinner.
And this guy, boy, the way he eats.
Well, listen, you were talking about.
Look at here.
Speaking of
eating,
eating, did you go get us some real? Listen, when I went over there, he was yelling at me and told me I couldn't have any.
Man,
that looks good, doesn't it?
Well, take that plate from him before he takes it back.
Chris Minner, former linebacker for EKU. What years did you play, Chris?
97, 2002.
97, 2002. Right. Madison Central graduate and
Rib master.
Rib
extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire.
Let's make sure we get it right.
Before we go any further, where'd you get this talent from?
I'm certified.
Chris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where'd you get this ability from?
It's a family secret.
And I'm in the family, right? We'll leave it at that.
Here, I'm going to put them over here so he don't take them back with him.
Well, hey,
make sure we get those eaten before. Next commercial break, I'm digging into those. Now, I'll tell you that right now.
You better get there before I do.
Well, there's two racks. Hey, Chris, we're going to need about 3 or 4 more plates whenever you get them done. Just keep bringing them over. Okay, all right. Well, let's get back to talking about the strength and conditioning. Obviously, big deal here with the day and age. We were just talking about nutrition and everything and how it's different nowadays, and it might have been even 10 years ago. There's just more technology and things that are used, and the athletes are just different than they used to be.
Sure, and this, we're talking about football here, but kind of across the board, we're talking about technology. Now we can dive into the portal and the time frame. Mm-hmm. You used to have years, to develop young men and young women. But now with technology that we use, we can put those parameters on, like how well their stress is, how all these different variables. That used to be back in the days when we were playing, it was like nobody really cared. But now it's like, okay, they're hitting this mark, they're hitting this speed. We can be a little bit more scientific and making sure that we're asking the right things and making sure they're able to recover when they get closer to game day.
Well, Coach Wells talks about all the time, you all have got like the meters or something that tells you how fast they run during practice.
Yes.
And that was one of the things he touched on this week, because I think, Greg asked him about when you look at the team, when you're 1-3, some of the players might just put their heads down and give up.
Sure.
What have you seen from the effort in practice? He said this week there was a couple of practices where you guys had kind of eclipsed a number you hadn't eclipsed this year.
Yes, and, I want to speak on Billy Brown and Carson Kipp. They solely work with football. Now, the rest of us, we work with
Spread
them.
around, yeah.
But, with that technology, you can see, to these kids' credit, regardless of the circumstances of the record or whatever you want to say, they're putting in the work. It is a big matter of pride. They want to be successful.
Yeah.
They want to put that work. And then you can see, hey, look, this kid is running at 20 miles an hour. Okay, well, last week they ran at 19.82. Okay, they're eclipsing that number. Or a kid is like, usually they run 19.82. Now they're running a 17.91, but their effort is there. Okay, what do we need to do in the weight room? What kind of recovery do we need to get? Or, and that also involves talking to the kid. Hey, what is going on? And how are you feeling? And then you make those adjustments because the kid wants to be successful. We just got to be put them in a position to be successful, making sure we're asking the right things and doing that.
Well, you didn't have that stuff back when you played, Howard. I mean, it's a lot different now, but in a good way, right?
Well, I played 72 to 75. At that time, our weight room was over in the Begley building.
Yep.
You know that little room.
Yes, sir, that little hallway down there.
Everything we had was in that one little room. And one of the benchmark things was, back then, we didn't have female managers. We didn't have female trainers.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was different then. And to see what John and his staff does now, it's almost like looking at it from then to now, how it's grown.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such a influential part of what we see when we come to the stadium. These guys get up early. They some of the earliest people that get up in the mornings, come to the athletic facility. And what time, John, do y'all usually get here sometimes?
I would say the earliest we get in here this time of the year in the fall, we start rolling in about 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Now, there are days, not every day is that way now because the staff has grown to 5 full-time. We have interns. But usually, it's 5:30. First group, the earliest group is at 6 a.m., and then 7, then 8, 8:45, 9:30. We kind of base it like a class schedule.
Okay.
So we can kind of fit those
Break
gaps
it down
in.
a little bit, yeah.
Our last group typically starts at 4:15, so they're done about 5:30. So the room is pretty active, about 12, 13 hours a day. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, we do have a bigger gap, in that middle of the morning where it's a little dead, where you can go do your errands or do anything that you need to do. But, talking about nutrition, that weight rooms used to be just iron and all that. Now it's iPads, and we've got nutrition. We make smoothies. We give out snacks. We do it.
Smoothie sounds good right
When
now.
I drop by his office now, I go through the cabinets looking for
for those snacks.
looking for a
That
snack.
don't surprise me one bit with him.
And, that is just making sure the kids, we're giving the proper fuel for them, whether it's prior to lift, post-lift, even during the day, because how do you get people to come in and say, hey, to you? You got food. But then you give them food so they're not getting into their pocket, but they're also fueling right. But then it also leads into conversations like, how is your day going? So you can get that relationship, to a little bit higher level and just be a human being with them instead of just sets and reps all the time.
Well, I remember when I played, I remember Coach Ken Murray, outstanding trainer. The only device I remember Coach Murray ever having was during a potential storm and during the heat of the hottest part of the season, he had Mike a device where he would go out and twirl it around, and based on the reading, that determined how often they were required to give us a break.
Okay, wow.
Depending on, I guess, the humidity, or whatever.
The heat index, and all that. Yep.
And all of this stuff that these guys have access to today, that's all I remember him having, other than that committed attitude toward each and every one of us.
Well, one thing that you hear, and listen, I'm at the age now where sometimes just getting out of bed, it doesn't feel as good as it used to.
That's right.
So, but the recovery process, and you got guys getting out there getting hit every single play.
Every day. Yes.
So they're feeling it after the game. When they get home, getting in bed, they feel it. The next morning, they're feeling it.
Yes.
So you're probably very involved with every single player that is out there on the football field, whether it be for one play or 70 plays. You're out there talking to them and making sure that from the time the game is over to the time the next practice is, that they got what they need to succeed, right?
Well, yes, and I think that's where those relationship pieces come in. And obviously, we all see and, you hear the hits and the good ones, the bad ones and everything. And so, coming in the next day, kind of like, okay, where are you? We're sore. Training room, they give out a medical list of, hey, they're good to go. This is what's nagging them, doing that kind of stuff. But then using strategies for that recovery. Okay, so the game's tonight. Okay, they'll be back in the building tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. All right, get sleep. What are we putting in the body as soon as the game is over? We're getting good protein. We're getting good carbs. What's the amount of sleep they're getting? How many meals are they eating prior to coming back into the building? What is their body weight? Because it's a nice, cool night out here. Everybody should show up. But, coming in looking, okay, look at their body weight. Did they lose 2-3 pounds? It's going to be typically water, but how well between that time and then on Monday, how much weight are we able to gain back? How much of that hydration? Using little things like that to making sure that we're chipping away recovery.
And the thing about it, just like what Mike is talking about, when you go out to practice in the heat of the day and you drop 2 or 3 pounds, your body recognizes that. That's not just something that's normal, but it's easy. Mike, how many pounds might a player drop during the heat of the day practice during those hot days?
So that's going to be varied, based upon their position, the humidity, heat.
Let's say an offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman, it would be not shocking for one of those men to drop anywhere from 5 to 8 pounds.
In one practice?
In one practice.
That's within a 2.5 to 3 hour period now.
And then with current research, if we lose 2% of our body weight within a set amount of time, our performance decreases. So the education, talking to these kids, keeping that is very vital. Sometimes like getting on a scale every other day or every day, it's like, this is monotonous and boring. What are we doing? But, it's for the well-being of these young men.
For sure.
Just to making sure, like, hey, that performance needs to be here. You dropped X amount of weight. We need to have you maybe not gain it all back in one setting, but, you need to be chipping away. So, like, by Wednesday, especially playing on Saturday, they need to be hydrated by Wednesday, not Friday or Saturday morning. It's got to start by Wednesday for that recovery.
Before we let you go, talk about the team this year. Okay, when you look at the guys and you're seeing them every single day, who's the one guy that impresses you and just has the physique and puts it all together? Like, who's the one guy that you could pick somebody out on the team right now?
All right, so I will say this, and I'm not being biased because he's from my home state.
Okay.
Here we go.
No, but I think a lot of people can agree. For me, as somebody that is involved but not directly into it, I would say Frank Lee.
Okay,
I would say he is a young man, talks about recovery. He takes very good care of his body.
He's a specimen, right?
He's a specimen. He works hard. He does extra things. He helps that group do extra work. He leads. He's not over the top bearing, but if he speaks, everybody listens. He is a phenomenal young man. He is from down in South Carolina where I'm from, so I didn't want to be biased. But to me, when you say that question, he's who pops up in my head.
Let me say this right quick before we go to break. Mike, you just talked about showing up sometimes. If a session starts at 5:30, you got to be there before 5:30.
Yes.
Sitting on my front porch, and we talked about this earlier, I see you heading home, me sitting on the porch seeing you going home late in the evening.
Yes.
What's it like for his wife is sweeter than July James.
I've got a special one.
And the 2 beautiful daughters. What's it like for them, for my husband, my dad, he's in and out sometimes long enough to maybe take a shower, get a bite, get a, and gone again. What's that like, Mike?
So I was not going to speak from my experience, but I would say what Eastern has given us is the opportunity to take care of family. And that's not just because we're on TV, but like if I come in early in the morning, well, I know for my daughters, they're going to school. They've got a busy after school, so they're busy. So I may come
in all sorts of stuff.
So I may come in early, but then I may run home real quick.
I'll see them for a few minutes.
I'll wake them up and we'll have breakfast together. So that'll be our family meal. Then I'll pop back in while they're in school. Then I know they get out at 3:15. Well, my next thing may not be till 4:30, so I may run home, see on their day, and then they're gone until Lord of mercy. They're busier than I am. They get home at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So, and then you just find those windows. And I think that's not something I came up with. I'm not smart enough. But, my wife and I, she's like, hey, look, this is the family's day. This is when we're home. And so we try to make that the priority one. Because I think if you're, in my opinion, if you're a good man, good husband, then you're going to be a better coach. And if I try to really believe, and when I'm not with my family, you want that interaction. Like my family comes into work, they'll be up here in a little bit.
And Mike, that's where winning starts.
Yes,
it starts with your head coach. And when your head coach is willing to acknowledge the fact that I call on these guys so much that I've got to make family time available to them, then you're a lot happier trainer when you have had those spots where you can go and spend time with the family. It makes a difference.
Being a dad, too, that 5 minutes when you're having a bowl of cereal with them, it makes your day as well.
Yes, it does.
Really, and whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours a day, that time with them is something that they may never forget as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're making memories as we go.
Exactly.
For a kid to be able to share with dad a 5-minute period where they can share with you what happened at school yesterday or this morning, and just have your ear for 5 minutes goes a long way.
Exactly.
In person, not over the phone, not a text. That's right.
Exactly.
In person.
Yeah.
They can read body language better than
buddy.
we.
Yes, they can. Yes, they
Well,
can.
we appreciate you stopping by.
Yes,
Big
thank
game
you.
today as the Colonels take on Nicholls State. And as he said, folks, still plenty of time to get your tickets. You can get them here at the stadium. Get online, EKUsports.com. Get out here and support the Colonels. The weather, a little bit of cloud coverage right now. I think the rain's already kind of went out of the forecast, so we've got a great day and a great game on tap as EKU plays Nicholls State. Kickoff is about 2 hours and 20 minutes away, so still plenty of time. Go out if you want to grab you a bite to eat before you come to the game. You got all the time in the world to get that done. Then come out here and support the Colonels this evening. We'll step aside for another commercial break. You got more guests lined up, cuz?
Huh?
You got more guests lined up?
I ain't worried about no guests.
He's worried about them ribs.
Oh, the ribs.
He's
Hey,
worried about
Gage,
them
put
ribs.
those away for he tries to take them from
Who's
me.
going to get to the table first?
We'll be right back on the EKU Game Day Show.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Code Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, EKU, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Founded by Kentuckians for Kentuckians, Whitaker Bank is a uniquely Kentucky bank committed to the communities it serves. At Whitaker Bank, you'll find personalized service, a dedication to excellence, and a genuine desire to help you achieve your financial goals. Visit us at any of our conveniently located branches or go to whitakerbank.com to learn how Whitaker Bank can serve you. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, 2 things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
We're back here on the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins and Howard Miller. I tell you what, cuz, man, everybody knows you. I used to think that I could walk around Richmond, people might know who I am, but I tell you what, you got them everyone lined up to come see you.
No, they don't know me. I just know them.
Okay, all right, then. That's what it is. That's what it is.
And I want to hand it over to this guy right here. As a freshman, when I came to EKU, this was our quarterback.
Okay.
Harold Borders. And, buddy, I had never seen nobody throw or sling a football the way he did when I come out of Madison High School. I come up here, and the first practice session, this guy rolling back in the pocket, and I'm thinking, whoa, where'd that come? Never seen nothing like that before. So, Mike, I'm going to turn it over because I want Harold.
Okay.
Here, buddy.
We got what was your name again, sir?
John Klingel.
So we got Klingel. We got. So listen, you guys obviously spend a lot of time at Eastern. You know Howard quite well. When you look at the landscape of college football now, it's a lot different than when you guys were here. So, what do you think when you look again? We look at how things are now. What do you think the biggest difference is from how things were 20 or 30 years ago to how things are now? We'll start with you.
Well, I think I'm so glad that I played when I did. I didn't have to put up with all this stuff. But I think the biggest thing, I came here, I stayed here. I was here for 5.
Came over getting the ribs.
I was here 5 or 6 years. That's why he just turned his microphone
That's
over.
what it was. He was making to get some of them ribs.
But the friendships I have gained by being here, and I'm over here. I'm tailgating with quite a few of them here. I get a chance to meet Harold, who played back in the 20s, I think. But it was it's. I have no idea what I would do today.
Yeah. Well, Harold, when you talk about your time here, obviously, Howard talked about playing with you and stuff. But the atmosphere and the way it's not just coming out to a football game nowadays. You've got the light show and the music and the video board. It's a lot different than but I think nowadays you've got to do stuff like that to entice fans to come out and spend the money on tickets because, used to. EKU football was the only show in town. It was the premier event in Richmond and Madison County. Now there is so many other things that can take your attention, take your money and your time. So to be able to do other things than just have the football game is a big deal now.
I know the 4 years I was here, 69 through 72, the stadium was packed every home game.
Yeah.
It was packed. The hill was packed. That side was packed. And it was great atmosphere. And I don't know who Howard was talking about throwing the ball that far. But I played with Wally Chambers.
Yeah.
And he's a heck of a guy. And Alfred Thompson and all those guys, good running backs, Jimmy Brooks. It was just great atmosphere. Coach Kidd was a great coach, great person. He was like a dad figure. If you had a problem, you talked to him.
Yeah. Well, when you look at coming out to these games now, obviously you guys over here doing the tailgating thing and, seeing some of your former teammates, some people you went to school with. What's it like just coming out here and now being able to support the former place that you played at?
Well, it's great. I enjoy it. Like I said, you see these people and see how much they change. If you don't see them for a few years, man, they gotten old, and then you look in the mirror and say, oh, wait a minute, I'm old too.
Well, what about you? What's your favorite part about being able to come out here now and just kind of socialize with everybody?
This coming to Eastern was probably the best decision of my life, and I just loved coming back. I was a high school football coach for about 20 years, and I couldn't get here on Saturdays from Northern Ohio, but I'm here every home game and some of the away games, and I wouldn't miss it.
What do you think about the game today? How important is it? Now, we're 1-3, but we know 2 of those games and 2 of those losses came against FBS teams, and then last week we lose to a ranked team on the road. So those 3 losses, they've all come to really, really good teams. So, but how important is it, do you guys think, to come back today, get back in the win column? Let's start to get things right as we go down the stretch.
They need to get this win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a close game. And it's going to come down to turnovers probably.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, I don't want to say it's a must-win, but it's as close to a must-win as it can be without being a must-win.
I think it is a must-win, and I think the kids, the players, we need a win to get us going back in the right direction, and maybe bring a few more fans out next week.
Exactly.
We just got to get the ball rolling in the right direction and come together as a team and get it done.
Well, before we'll let you guys go, we're going to, Gage, if you don't care, let's get a shot of the Colonel Walk as it comes through. And then after the Colonel Walk is over, we'll take our last commercial break. We'll come back and wrap things up on the EKU Game Day Show.
Yes, we're done.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Come on, Bob. You up next.
Email the check
granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi. Local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or a gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
We're here to wrap things up on the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller, and the Colonels at home today against Nicholls State. Kickoff a little over 2 hours away, so still plenty of time to get out here and get your tickets and support the Colonels today. And Howard, got another guest lined up here for us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. You might not look at this fella and think he was, but this was one of the most effective running backs that ever put on the maroon and white. I remember being in junior high school, late elementary, junior high school during the time that this guy was playing. And I remember coming to old Hanger Stadium.
Yeah.
And I saw this fullback, and I thought to myself, man, he's a small guy, because at that time, man, you had monsters playing college football. Yeah. And the first time I saw him carry the football, I thought, whoa. I'm proud to present to our show former EKU running back. Now, Bob, when you was first here, was it Eastern Kentucky State College, or was it already EKU?
No, it was Eastern Kentucky State College.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
1965.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our best of all time, Bob Beck.
Well, Bob, welcome into the show. I tell you what, we've been talking to fans and stuff about, you know, the difference between how things used to be to how we are now. And it's just obviously, and things change. I mean, gas prices go up, you know, milk and eggs, everything's different than what it used to be. But here and the tradition stuff, we're still trying, you know, we're still, you know, hawking back to or remembering back to the way things used to be. But it's different now. And, you know, Eastern's still trying to get back to where we once were. What do you think we need to do to be able to get back to the tradition and those glory days of EKU football?
Well, you know, it's a difficult time right now. You know, I like our league. We don't know if we're going to be next year, this year.
Yeah.
You know,
and a lot of changes.
And changes, and I think something that really hurts us is for the fans. There's no game you can go to except Austin Peay.
Yeah, the rivalries.
Yeah. But I mean distance.
Yeah, oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
You know, I'm a loyal fan. I've missed 2 games home games since 1965.
Wow, that's dedication right there.
And, yeah, I've tailgated ever since. You know, my playing days and coaching days were over here, and I've always come back. You know, this has helped me, made me what I am today a lot. Coach Kidd, we were his first recruiting class.
Okay.
And out of that recruiting class, I think there was 28 players and 27 graduated.
Wow, and that's a big deal, too.
From him.
Yeah.
So we were all together that whole period, 4 years of time.
Well, and that's one that we've been talking about during today's show with guests, too, is, it is so hard now to consistently build a program because as soon as you have a player, now you could find a diamond in the rough, but as soon as you make him shine real good, another school that's coming to pay him 5 figures comes and takes him away. That's just the day and age that we're in college football, So it's so hard to build a program.
Yeah, Eastern even when I was playing, we had top-notch recruits sometimes.
Remember Jimmy Brooks, back, Jimmy Brooks, Lord.
Wally Chambers, I can go on, there's 8 or 9 that went into the pros.
Remember Jack McCoy?
Jack McCoy.
Lord, how mercy. I remember those. No, I was well out. He had done hung his sneakers up a long time before I showed up.
But it was, it's hard, like you say. You get a good guy and he's gone.
Yeah.
And you know it. I mean,
And you can't hide him.
No.
If you get a diamond in the rough, you can't hide him.
No, and the thing is, what you've got to do is you've got to capitalize. When you get one of those special players, you've got to go as far as you can. You have to capitalize. If you know you've got somebody for one season, you've got to make that one season the best it can be because you just, you never know. Now, back when we had Parker McKinney, that was a kid that had the opportunity to go somewhere else. 3 or 4 years ago when Parker was the quarterback here, he stayed. And I think just trying to find that type of loyalty, because listen here, in the day, again, and that's one good thing about it. If you're a good college football player, they will find you, even at the NFL level. They'll still you'll still get drafted. Now, you might be a lower draft pick than you might be if you were somewhere else, but they'll still find you. You'll eventually make your way to the league.
They have somebody that they're going to send to look at you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
don't think they won't.
No, and you see it all the time. I think this past week they had 2 or 3 different professionals, like teams here, scouting the players they have this year. So you will be found, but it's the money nowadays. It's so hard to turn. And I understand it. Like if you're a kid that came up from nothing, or your family has struggled, and you get a school offering you, $500,000 to come play for a year.
50, 60, 80,000.
How do you say no?
You can't do
How do you say no? It's so hard. It's so hard. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on with us, sir. Real quick, what do you think today? Do you think we get a victory? We back in the win column today?
Well, Nicholls is about the same as we are in offense. So I think if we can just play a little bit better, we got a good chance.
Let me show you this, Mike, before he leaves.
Oh, yeah.
See that right there? When I was a kid, the first time I saw the E-ring was in the dugout at Madison High School. Some of EKU's football players played fast-pitch softball with my father. And I saw one of them. I thought it was the most beautiful ring I'd ever seen in my life. And I told the player at that time, I'm going to get me one of these, and I hope the fans can see it. And mine is at home in the drawer right now.
Yeah,
right now.
Well, listen, folks, we appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to wrap things up and hope the Colonels get back in the win column. They're a 3.5-point favorite at home, but they've got to get some consistent offense. We'll see about the quarterback position and how things play out today. But it's EKU and Nicholls State kickoff at 6 p.m. Thanks for hanging out with us, Howard Miller and Michael Watkins, and all of our great guests and our producer, Gage Hill. We'll see you next time on the EKU Game Day Show.